All right. We're on the record in docket 22-00657, people of the state of Michigan versus Shannon Mejia. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Yang on behalf of Ms. Mejia, who is not present.
All right. This is the time set for a jury trial on the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we will not be proceeding with jury trial. We have, I guess, two issues to address. I got an email from the victim last night. She has broken her ankle and is unable to be here. As a result, I called off the rest of my witnesses. These are participating witnesses. They come into the office to meet with me. I suspect this is a legitimate injury.
Right.
Additionally, the defendant is not here. It had been the intent of the people to ask for an adjournment as a result of our witness being unavailable. The defendant not being here, I think the bench warrant may also be appropriate as this is an assault of crime. We could ask for $40 possession. However, given that the people would have been asking for an adjournment anyway, leave that discretion of the court.
All right, Mr. Yang.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've not had any contact with Ms. Mejia this morning. She was aware of today's date and trial. At this time, I leave it to the court's discretion. I had been in contact with the courts with Ms. Holden prior to today about a possible new jury date and a motion date as well. If this court decides to issue the warrant, I'm not sure if can we put those as placeholders for now, or just so that we have something on the docket as opposed to just kind of leaving it open.
Well, I can give you the date that we're looking at, but I mean, so that you have it for the record. And I do, by the way, I do have the motion that you have that was set, and so there's no reason to address that. It's a relevance motion and a 403 motion. But I think the real question here is towards Miss Mejia not being here. You know, that's the real question. So the date we're looking at, but we can't set it for date because we don't have a defendant, would be January 17th. So that's the intended date that it would be. I am going to issue a bench warrant for the defendant. However, Mr. Yang, if you have contact with your client and she comes in, you know, and it'll have to be in person, you know, but she'll come in. I'm willing to give it a day because she has come in the past. You know, she's come in by Zoom in the past. But it's the time set for jury trial. I have some apprehensions about the length the case has been going on. It's been, I think this is the 91st or 92nd day. So 95th day. So, I mean, it's getting, but I'll issue a bench warrant. So the defendant's bench warranted for failure to appear for FTA, but I'll give him, Mr. Yang, I'll give you the day to get your client in if you're able to get your client in, and then we'll quash the bench warrant. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then at that time, Wendy will probably set it. She'll give you notice that it's sent out January 17th is the next day, but let's not worry about that till we find out if we have a defendant or not. So defendant bench warrant, I'm going to indicate that the complaining victim broke their ankle. So they were not here. Not here. So, okay, with adjournment. But my real fear here is that the defendant's not here, you know, on a date that we're supposed to set for trial. But I will give her a all right, so you're probably looking at January 17th, but that notice will come out in due time. Anything else for the record? So this is adjourned. Defendants failed to appear. Bench warrant is set. Anything else for the record in docket 22-00657, Mr. Wisty?
Nothing further, Your Honor, just clarification. So basically, if defendant turns herself in within a day, we'll have that January 17th. If not, it'll just be a bench warrant.
Correct. It'll just be in bench warrant status. We'll just put it there. And then the motion right now can just be heard on date of trial, you know. Once we have the date. If you want to hear it before, we can bring it before, but you know.
I think it's something that can be taken care of fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's a relevance motion. It's a 403 balancing test motion. So, all right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Gang?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your appearance today. Mr. Heinz, we'll call one of your cases today, and then we'll talk about the other one, the first two you're here on. But I have Davenport University versus Diamond Freeman, which is docket 1704230. Will the parties please state their appearances for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. John Hintz here, appearing for the plaintiff, Davenport University.
And ma'am, you are Diamond Freeman?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a discovery proceeding in the matter. Mr. Hintz, how did you want to proceed today?
Your Honor, if the court would be so inclined, just to put us into a breakout room, and if the court would swear the witness, and then I could ask the questions, and then we could be done in about 5 minutes or so. I do have another creditor's exam as well, Your Honor, in your court at the same time too.
All right. Is that the preceding case of Miss Price, or is that I've got two other Mr. Hintz. I've also got a Skyline Group case.
Yes, Skyline Group versus a Robin Fannin. And then the one on Price, I think we did not have service, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks. So we'll put that one aside until service is made.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Freeman, I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give Mr. Hintz in the debtor's exam is true to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Freeman, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with Mr. Hintz, and you can start give and take some information. This is a discovery issue to be conducted before we actually set this for trial. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to have Miss Freeman and Mr. Hintz placed in a breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So Ms. Fannin, you're in the right courtroom. The attorney on your case is in a breakout room on another discovery issue. And so we'll go on the record in your case as soon as that attorney comes back, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lopez, you're in the right you're in the right room. And I have the attorney at the last discovery hearing as a Mr. Sparks. But I don't see an attorney here, so we'll give him some time, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Jamal, are you here on the LVNV funding case?
I am, yes, Judge.
All right, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and call that case. So Ms. Lopez, that's your case?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're on the record. We're on the record docket 2201183. That is LVNV funding versus Shirley Lopez. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Joseph Jamal on behalf of the plaintiff P71254.
And ma'am, you are Shirley Lopez?
Yes, sir. I'm Shirley Lopez.
Thank you. This is the time set for looks like it was initially a discovery hearing. All the parties met in a breakout room. And then in order to finalize, it was also set for a discovery hearing today, December 5th at 8:30. Mr. Jamal, how would you like to proceed today?
Yeah, so it looks like our office just recently received back from the defendant the affidavit of fraud that went out. So we received a bunch more information from her, including that affidavit, as well as it looks like a police report. We just received that on December 1st. I think at this point, what we'd likely be doing is looking to proceed with a dismissal without prejudice based on that affidavit of fraud. However, we would, like I said, seek it without prejudice, as there's still some questions that we might need to follow up with Ms. Lopez in regards to.
All right. And I did have the opportunity to read the file, and it appears, and in our file, we have a police report now concerning the events and the affidavit of fraud that was filed by Ms. Lopez. Ms. Lopez, I'm assuming you have no objection to a dismissal without prejudice on today's date.
Just give me a minute. I'm sorry. I just got out of the
Oh, you're
hospital
okay.
from having a stroke, so I don't. Okay, I agree with what you're trying to say.
Right. So just so we're clear, at this time, based on the paperwork that you filed with LVNV, that my understanding, Mr. Jamal, is that they're going to move to dismiss without prejudice, which means that they may be able to bring it back in a future date. But for our purposes today, the civil case against you would be dismissed based on some of the affidavit and paperwork that you provided to the plaintiff and to the court concerning this matter. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Jamal?
Yes, that is.
All right. So Ms. Lopez, I'm assuming you have no objection to a dismissal of this file without prejudice.
I have no objection, sir. I don't have a.
All right. So the plaintiff moves to dismiss, and I'll indicate without prejudice as requested.
Your Honor, did you need us to submit a proposed order, or will the court be doing that today?
You'll go ahead and submit an order to the court. It's the Judge Flores courtroom, right? It's the other to the civil department or ours?
Sent it civil.
Okay, so if you sent a dismissal under the 7-day rule to the civil department, which is 54A.civil@lansingmi.gov, I'll sign it when I get it today.
Great. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the record in docket 2201183, Mr. Jamal?
No.
Anything, Ms. Lopez?
No, I think I sent Mr. Jamal, I think I sent you all the information that I had. So
Yeah.
that's it.
You
And I sent a
did.
copy. Yeah, I sent a copy to the judge too.
Perfect, ma'am, and we both received it. So,
Okay.
so that's all for the record, docket 22-01183. Mr. Jamal, thank you for your appearance. Mrs. Lopez, you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom, okay, ma'am?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, thank you. All right.
How do I leave?
I don't see that too often. She was an actual victim of identity theft. Somebody opened up an account that was not related to her. She had to get a police report, an affidavit of fraud, and it was all, she filed it. She filed the police report. You don't see that. And then you don't see I don't see the civil company acting appropriately. Like, let's get rid of it. This is a problem. Usually they prolong it to see if it's a mistake or not. So we're ready whenever you're ready to go on any of your cases.
People v. Jackson.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in two files. Docket 22-01443 and docket 22-03069. People of the state of Michigan versus Carolyn Jackson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lawrence Sutter appearing today on behalf of Ms. Jackson, who is seated to my right.
And ma'am, you are Carolyn Jackson?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for a final pretrial on both files, both assault and battery files. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, at this time, the people will be filing dismissals on both files. Our witnesses have failed to appear this morning.
No objection.
So people move to dismiss without prejudice on both files. And Ms. Sutter, may I make inquiry of your client exactly what that means today?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Jackson, you understand that on both of these files, the people are moving to dismiss because the complaining victims failed to appear.
Yes.
They could bring them back at a later date based on information they have. But for today's date, both files are dismissed. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in dockets 22-01443 or 22-03069?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you.
That's all for the record in both of those files. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
record in docket 22-02804. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Patrick Dickerson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing on behalf of Mr. Dickerson, who is standing to my right.
Sir, you are Patrick Dickerson?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a final pretrial today. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where the defendant would plead guilty to an amended count 1 telecommunication services malicious use attempt. That would be 3 months and/or $500. There is also a killaboo agreement that he be given a delay of sentence pursuant to 771.1 with an agreement to a review hearing in approximately 6 months, at which time, if he has followed up with mental health services, and the people have shown satisfactory proof of that, it would be the intent of the people to dismiss it.
All right. So I'll take a plea today and then we'll set it for a 6-month sentence in 6 months. Okay. And at that time, we'll revisit concerning any type of further proceeding on the prosecutor's behalf. And that the agreement today is that if everything goes well, there'll be a dismissal on that date.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. I want to make sure I have the code right, because I think in the past I've gotten notes on attempts, and I want to make sure that my code is correct. So it's 750.54. So it's 750.540 E, and then there's an A after that, right?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
I'm gonna double check. I haven't
In
easy time
parents,
finding that.
yeah. I tried to explain that to him. It's the same code with an A after it,
Right.
making it a tent, which cuts everything in half, which
It
should be.
is, I have it as 750.92.
Because the count in the information is 750.540 E.
Correct, and the attempt enhancement, I suppose is the best way of calling it, is under 750.92.
That works for me. 750.92. Does that read it that right? Okay, perfect. So, and that's 3 months and/or $500 under delayed sentence.
Just to be clear, for the purposes of coding, that's the attempt statute.
Oh, that's the
So I
attempt
don't know if
statute.
that's going to
We need
achieve
the
what you're looking
actual-
to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that'd be 750.540 E parent A.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Does that help?
Yeah,
Correct.
that really helped because I was about to do the attempt statute, not what technically Mr. Dickerson's going to plead to today.
Yes, the telecommunications one is, you're correct, 75054E, 540E.
All right. And that's your understanding, Ms. Sutter?
It is,
All right. May I make inquiry of your client of his advice or rights on the misdemeanor plea?
yes.
All right. So, Mr. Dickerson, you understand, you've heard us all talk today, but I'm gonna summarize it for you. My understanding is you're gonna plead guilty to the attempted telecommunications 750.54 E parents A, which is punishable by 3 months and/or $500. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
There's also an agreement that right now that the prosecutors indicating and the defense has indicated that we would delay your sentence for 6 months for mental health, to seek mental health treatment. And at that time, if everything goes correctly, the prosecutor would look at dismissing this case. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right. I've talked about the possible penalties. So if you plead guilty today, you won't have any trial of any kind. And I'm going to walk you through those rights. All right, sir? If your plea is accepted, you'll not have a trial of any kind. You'll waive the following rights. You'll be waiving the right to be tried by a jury. You'll be waiving the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You'd be waiving the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You'd be waiving the right to have the witnesses against you appear at trial. You'd, of course, have the right to question any of those witnesses at trial, contest any charges from Ms. Sutter, who's the public defender in this matter, who's representing you legally. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you might need for your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial to choose to testify. What we're really saying is if the plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises or threats, that it was not your choice to plead guilty, other than the plea agreement we've already talked about. Is that your intent today, sir?
Yes,
All right. You also give up the right to any appeals from a trial because you wouldn't be having a trial. You'd be giving up any appeal. Do you understand that, sir?
yes,
All right. I'm gonna have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
yes,
All right. I'm gonna bring your attention back to October 18th, 2022, at the offense location of 1242 West Edgewood, Apartment 1, City of Lansing, Ingham County. On that date, were you at that address in the city of Lansing?
yes.
All right. And why don't you tell me, in regards to the telecommunication services and malicious use, what you did? It appears that and it's a laundry list, to intent to terror, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, annoy, or disturb the quiet peace of what appears to be some Lansing Police Department officers.
Yes.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I called 911 too many times, being loud and annoying, cussing them out and stuff. And,
Okay.
That was about it.
All right, and that was on the date and time in question.
Yes.
All right. Any questions on the factual basis, Mr. Whiskey?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on the factual basis, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily accurate. I think that it's appropriate in this case to delay the sentence. So we'll delay the sentence to
June 6th, 2023 at 1:30.
June 6th, 2023 at 1:30?
Yes.
Okay, at 1:30. And in the meantime, sir, you have a plan for dealing with some of these issues.
Yes.
In regards to mental health.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll revisit this issue on June 6th, 2023 at 1:30. Any questions, Mr. Wisty, or anything else for the file?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Dickerson, good luck to you. We'll see you in 6 months. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. We'll go back on the record, Mr. Hintz, in docket 1704230. It appears Ms. Freeman left, but did you have the opportunity to meet with her in a breakout room?
Yes, I did, Your Honor, and she graciously answered all of my questions. We worked out a payment arrangement, so all is good.
All right. Did you want to put that payment arrangement on the record?
It's not an installment order, Your Honor. It's just an agreement on that.
All right.
And so we're just going to have it at that, if that's all right.
All right. Did you want to follow this up with an order, or I'm just looking for the next date in the file?
The subpoena date, well, she answered all of my questions. I'm satisfied, Your Honor. There's going to be no further dates on this case.
All right. So are you going to submit a dismissal on the file?
Well, Your Honor, there was a judgment that was entered on this file.
Okay.
Back in,
this is a collections issue.
Yeah, just a collections issue, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I should have clarified that.
No, I got my files mixed up. All right. Anything else for the record? Docket 1704230, Mr. Hintz?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And then I'll call, it appears Ms. Fannon's here, and that would be your second discovery hearing on, so I'll go ahead and call that. So calling docket 2201425. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
John Hintz appearing for the plaintiff Skyline Group, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you are Robin Fannon? I believe you have to be, you may be muted, ma'am. Can you talk again? I want to make sure we can hear you. Ms. Fanning, can you hear us?
Yes, I can now. It keeps going in and out.
Okay. This is the time set for discovery matter. Mr. Hintz, did you similarly want to meet with Ms. Fannin in a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. If you could put us in a
All right.
breakout room, that would be great.
Ms. Fannin, I'm going to swear you in order to have this discovery proceeding in a breakout room. So I'll have you raise your right hand. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes,
All right. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to have Ms. Fannin and Mr. Hintz placed in a breakout room, and then they'll come back. They can come out back and place it on the record. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Hintz, do you have a prompt sending you back to the room you were in?
I was afraid to hit the leave button, Your Honor, because I was afraid I'd leave the whole courtroom
Right.
and stuff.
Is there a move?
I will inquire. The last time I just went right in. I will try, Your Honor. I don't see
All
a
right.
move button on my thing, but I will
All
try.
right. Okay.
Ms. De Leon.
What am I thinking?
Sir, on the Moto G Power, can you please identify yourself?
Jose Garcia?
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. You're here for your 9:30?
Correct.
Thank you. And
Daily on Fields.
Daily on Fields. All right, Mr. Hintz, we had Miss Robin here for a second, and then she left. Did you have the opportunity to speak with her in a breakout room? We're back on the record docket 22-01425.
Yes, we did, Your Honor. And as we had a tough internet connection, Your Honor, but we made it through. Ms. Fannin was very patient and answered all of my questions, Your Honor. This is a creditor's exam after a money judgment that was entered in September of this year. And so with that, Your Honor, my questions are answered. There's no future date the court needs to put on this matter. And we have a payment arrangement. And so the plaintiff is satisfied, and I told Ms. Fannin that she was free to go, Your Honor.
Perfect. All right, so with that being indicated for the record, anything else, Mr. Hintz, on docket 22-01425?
None whatsoever, Your Honor. Thank you for your patience, Your Honor.
All
We're
right,
all
thank
set.
you. Have a nice day. All right.
You too. Thank you.
This shit. Trying to find my way out this shit. I shit to prove my whole hood know I'm about this shit. Rain until they
Ms. White, you're here for the fuels matter? Okay. So we're on the record in docket 22-03047. That's people of the state of Michigan versus Jose Garcia. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, appearing today on behalf of Mr. Garcia, who is present via Zoom.
And sir, you are Jose Garcia,
I am.
and you can hear me all right, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I can.
All right, Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pre-trial. How are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we'd like to set for a final pre-trial and jury trial.
That's correct, Your Honor. And if I might make one request for the final pretrial, Mr. Garcia has some transportation difficulties right now. Would he have permission to appear remotely for that hearing?
As long as Mr. Wisty doesn't have an objection.
No objection.
So,
Thank you.
so the final pre-trial can be conducted by Zoom.
1-3 at 8:30.
So January 3rd at 8:30,
Yes,
and then for jury trial,
the 17th at 8.
January 17th at 8. So by Zoom, the final pretrial will be January 3rd at 8:30, and then live will be, if a necessity, January 17th at 8. Is that anything else for the record, Mr. Whiskey?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Garcia, we'll see you by Zoom back here on January 3rd at 8:30. Okay, sir?
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record in docket 22-03047.
Thank you. Feel free to log off, Mr. Garcia.
Yep.
That might be Mr. Dawson.
Let's see. Would the individual on the iPhone please identify yourself?
Bria Fields, Damian Fields' mother.
All right. All right. At this point in time, we're waiting for his attorney to appear. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Are you?
Ma'am?
Yes.
The way that you'd watch this, rather than be in the actual Zoom courtroom, would be that we stream everything live on YouTube. And so if you go to YouTube and you pull up my courtroom, you can watch all this and you won't be in the actual courtroom. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Mhm.
So that would be the appropriate way to watch the hearing without being in the Zoom courtroom.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you. All this is being YouTube so that would be the easiest way to watch it without being in the actual court hearing. 01274. People of the state of Michigan versus Michael Powers. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Whiskey on behalf of the people.
Erin Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Powers, who's standing to my right.
And sir, you are Michael J. Powers?
Correct.
All right. This is the time set for pretrial in the matter. Mr. Whiskey, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we've reached a resolution where Mr. Powers will plead guilty to an added count 2, operating while visibly impaired. In exchange for that plea, count 1 will be dismissed. Let me just make sure. And the PAT code for the operating visibly impaired is 257.6253 -A.
All right. And that, if correct me if that's 92 days still, right?
It's 93 days.
93.
And/or $300 and/or 360 hours of community service.
Yeah, I'll restate that for the record, for Ms. Robinson, then you can indicate that's your understanding. The defendant's going to be pleading guilty to a count 2, an amended count 2, or an added count 2. It's an added count 2. Of OWI pursuant to 2576253-A, 93 days, excuse me, and/or $300, and/or 360 days of community service. With a plea to that count 2, count 1 is to be dismissed. The original operating while intoxicated. Is that your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
Yes, but I believe he's pleading to the OWVI, so it's not
Okay, so OWVI.
visibly impaired, yes.
Same PAC code, right? 2576253-A.
Yes, that is the operating.
All right. If that's your understanding, may I inquire your client of his advice of rights on this misdemeanor
Yes.
plea? All right. Mr. Powers, you've heard the lawyers talk, okay? And you understand that we're going to add a count 2 of OWVI pursuant to 2576253-A. That the maximum penalty is 93 days and/or $300, or $368 of community service. With that plea to count 2, count 1 is to be dismissed. Is that your understanding, sir?
Yes.
All right. You understand that you have, you will not, if you please accept it, you will not have a trial of any kind in this case. And so I'll walk you through the rights that you'll be waiving today, okay? You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to be legally represented. You, of course, are represented by Ms. Robinson from the Public Defender's Office. And she would be contesting any charges brought or cross-examining witnesses on your behalf. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses that you may have to appear for trial. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you in a court of law. And you have the right to testify if you choose to testify. Do you understand your rights, sir? And it's your intent to waive all those rights today to plead guilty? Plea is accepted. You'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than the plea agreement already discussed. And it was always your intent to plead guilty. Is that correct, sir? All right. You'll give up the right to appeal any issues that would come from trial. Because you're not going to have a trial, you'll be pleading guilty today. Sir, I'm going to have you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Sir.
All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to March 14th, 2021 at the offense location of Dunkel Road and 127 North. Were you on Dunkel Road 127 North on the date in the city of Lansing, Ingham County? Okay. And this is, so tell me in your own words on that date and time, why you'd be guilty of count 2, which is operating while visibly impaired.
I was over at a buddy's house, at a bonfire and whatnot. And like near the end of the night, I was on my way home or whatever. He'd asked me if I could like take some buddies of mine home. I told him, yeah, I was on my way. I got them home safely, and then when I went to go get on the highway to proceed home myself, I was flicked by a cop. Yada, yada.
All right, and at the time you were stopped, you had a blood alcohol content or visibly impaired of over 0.08 grams. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right. All right. I find the fact, any questions on the factual basis, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
I find the factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily and accurately made, and will refer to probation. So do you plan to go to probation today or in a couple days while you're here?
Yeah, if I could do it.
Okay, that'd be best.
Yeah, sooner
So that's on the 5th floor, right? So refer to probation on the 5th floor. And they're gonna ask you a bunch of questions. You'll fill out the paperwork, and then they'll prepare a report for me for sentencing, okay? What is the sentencing is set out a little ways, just because I think it's now we're like 6 to 8 weeks, so 8 to 10, okay.
For the request. It
All
will
right.
be on February 14th at 1:30.
So the sentencing in this matter will be on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022, at what time?
1:30.
At 1:30.
23, Judge.
2023, you're right. At 1:30. And then we'll decide, after they do the report, we'll decide how we're going from there, okay? Any questions for me, Mr. Powers? All right, Mr. Wisty, anything else for docket 21-01274?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, we'll see you back here on Valentine's Day, okay? All right. Mr. Boss, you are in the right courtroom, and I'm going to place you in a breakout room with your public defender, Aaron Robinson, when she joins. Okay, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome. Are we ready on Mr. Boss?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes.
We're on the record in docket 22-00658. People of the state of Michigan versus Andrew Boss. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Boss.
And sir, you are Andrew Boss,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you can hear me all right, Mr. Boss?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
All right. I can, thank you. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
Like this set for a final pretrial and jury trial, Your Honor.
Okay, set for final pretrial. Is that your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is.
All right. So the final pretrial will be set for
January 3rd at 8:30.
January 3rd at 8:30. And the jury trial will be set for
The 17th.
January 17th at 8. All right. Ms. Robinson, may I inquire your client of both those dates?
Yes.
So Mr. Boss, you'll be live here on final pretrial date at 8:30 on January 3rd for your final pretrial. And then the jury trial is set for January 17th at 8 a.m. You got both those dates, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-00658, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. That's all for the record. You're free to leave the Zoom courtroom. Thank you for your appearance today, sir.
All right. Thank you.
So, and sir, you are Eric Dawson?
All right, I'm finally in there. Yes, I am.
Okay, good. All right, let's go ahead and put that on the record. So we're on the record in docket 22022473 and the accompanying ticket of 22411119102. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, appearing today on behalf of Mr. Dawson, who is joining us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Eric Dawson?
Yes,
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Dawson?
I can. I'm sorry I'm late. I thought it was that. I'm sorry I'm late.
You're fine. Mr. Wisty, this is the time set for a pretrial today. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we would like this set for another pretrial, approximately 2 weeks. Reason being, defense counsel would like an opportunity to review a video with Mr. Dawson. We would be requesting an additional pretrial instead of a final pretrial. I guess my position, generally due to the nature of these charges, I would hope they do not go to actual trial. This was already adjourned for a second pretrial before, just so the court is aware. I would request for a second or third pretrial, but if the court isn't willing, we'd have no objection to a final pretrial.
All right, I think we can set it for another second pretrial. Based on the nature of the charges. Is that your understanding, Ms. Sutter?
It is.
Second pretrial?
Yes.
So I'll get a date for a second pretrial. You said 2 weeks out, but 2 to 4 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks.
We can do Thursday, December 15th at 2.
Is that 1 week? No.
It's either that or we have to wait till after the New Year.
That's too fast.
The only issue with the 15th is Thursday, that's a felony day. I frequently have assignments in other courts on felony days.
So let's go past it. Yeah,
Next date's in May.
that's fine. That's all right. I mean, it's a driving while license suspended. Yeah.
Sorry for y'all inconvenience.
No, you're all right. We're just getting a date.
January 3rd at 9.
So January 3rd at 9 a.m. All right, so we can be back. We'll be back on January 3rd at 9 a.m. for second pretrial. I give the defense a chance to review the video. Any questions, Mr. Wisty, about the new date?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Dawson, we'll see you back here on January 3rd at 9 a.m. To continue both of these matters and give your counsel some time to review the video. All right, sir?
All right, I'm not trying to make this bigger than it is.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, I think that's a reasonable request. So so be back here on January 3rd, and that's all set for the record. Thank you for your appearance today. Okay.
All right. Hey, can I say something real quick? Ms.
Sure.
Sutter. Y'all probably seen the news about Marvin Gardens and all this stuff. I'm having a hard time getting my mail right now. So if she could continue to send me the emails and the Zoom IDs, I appreciate it. I'm not able to access my mail right now.
Okay.
I don't want to miss my court date.
So I've been emailing him.
Right.
Yeah, I'll keep emailing you, Mr. Dawson, since you're not getting your mail.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. That's all for the record in that file.
All right. You have a good day.
You too. All right, Mr. Fields, you can put yourself off mute and we're gonna call your case. Yeah, Mr. Fields, you're on mute right now. So, Mr. Fields, you'll have to punch something on your computer or your cell phone in order to turn your mic on. He has to do that, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Fields, are you there?
Yeah, nigga.
Mr. Fields, you're in a court, you're in the courtroom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and call your case. It appears your attorney's not here. And my indication is he probably had some other commitment or that there's a reason for it. We're just gonna reset this for a different date, all right, sir?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
We'll make sure, to make sure you're represented, and then to make sure, so you're not, so I understand you and your mom's watching on YouTube and Miss White's here. I don't want to prolong this matter, so I'm gonna call the record docket 2203091. That's People of the State of Michigan versus Daly on Fields. Will the parties please introduce themselves?
Jake Whiskey on behalf of the people.
And sir, you are Daly and Fields?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can hear me all right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. It's an indication that the attorney is not here today or not here right now. I have no reason to believe that that the attorney didn't get this either conflicted or was in a different hearing. So it's the court's intent to reset this for a new date. Any objection, Mr. Wisty?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. So let's reset this pretrial for
December 15th at 2 o'clock.
let's reset it for December 15th at 2 o'clock. Anything else for the record, Mr. Wisty, in docket 2203091?
Yes, Your Honor, I have been, received an email from Deanna White, who is here today. She may be able to enlighten the court further, but my understanding is Mr. Fields has had some basically recommendations from community mental health. He doesn't appear to be following. I don't think they're part of his bond conditions in this. In fact, I know they're not part of the bond conditions in this case. I think it would be preferable that he does have bond conditions to follow orders from the community mental health in this matter. Without his attorney present, I don't know the court's position.
Yeah, I'm reluctant to change bond conditions without his lawyer present, but definitely something that we should look at next time we meet. Ms. White, did you have anything to say on behalf of that?
No, not at this time. I think it'd be appropriate for his attorney to be present.
I do too. So we'll reset it for December 15th at 2 o'clock. And at that time, we can revisit any bond conditions concerning this file. Mr. Fields, you got that date, December 15th at 2 o'clock?
Yes, sir. What about my bond conditions?
We're going to revisit some bond conditions concerning this file, but I'd like your lawyer to be present when we do that. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. So anything else for the record, docket 2203091, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Fields, we'll see you back here December 15th at 2 o'clock. You may want to contact your attorney, Mr. Barry, in regards to that December 15th date. Okay, sir?
Okay.
All right. That's all for the record, this file. Thank you, Ms. White, for your appearance.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
My dog child.
So I'm all done here.
You're all set, Mr. Fields. You can leave the Zoom courtroom.
Oh, on your porch. What? This one might not have made it to his diary.
So we're on the record in docket 22-02015. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Raekwon Brown. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
And this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. It is, this was set for 10 a.m. It is now 10:21. It appears the defendants failed to appear. This is on a domestic violence. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding today?
We would ask for a bench warrant, Your Honor. And just for a record, this is just assault charges. This is a domestic violence.
Right.
And due to the assaultive nature, we'd ask that there not be a 48-hour grace period.
Thank you. Yep, I've indicated that the defendants failed to appear. Bench warrant for defendant, no 48-hour, I'll put no 48-hour hold because of assault. Anything else for the record? Docket 22-02015, Mr. Wisty.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we're all set on that file. Make sure I signed it. And Ms. Sutter will call yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we're on the record in docket 22-03272. People of the state of Michigan versus David Hutcherson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Hutcherson, who I do not believe is present.
All right. There's nobody in the Zoom courtroom or in the actual courtroom.
Dave Lance Cahola.
All right. And this was set for 10 o'clock and it's now 10:23.
There's no left out there.
All right. It appears the defendants failed to appear. Mr. Wisty, how are we proceeding?
I request a bench warrant without a 40-hour hold, as this is an assaultive crime.
Any comment, Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, just that it's within the discretion of the court to order that 48-hour hold, and this appears to be his first failure to appear in this file. So I would ask that 48-hour hold be put in place for any bench warrant.
Wait, there was a 10% bond placed in this file. The defendants failed to appear, so I'll issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture. And because of the nature of the offense, no 48-hour hold. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03272, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Anything, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And then on the record in docket 20-02454, that's people of the state of Michigan versus Jordan Maldonado. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Jake Wisty on behalf of the people.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Maldonado.
And this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. This was set for 10 o'clock. It is now 10:24. Appears the defendants failed to appear. Mr. Wisty, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, the people would request a bench warrant. We'd leave the 48-hour hold in the discretion of the court. This is a property crime.
Ms. Robinson?
I think this is his his first failure to appear, so I would just request the 48-hour hold, please.
That's my understanding. It's first failed to appear on a retail fraud. I'll place a 48-hour hold on the bench warrant bond forfeiture.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else for the record in docket 20-02454, Mr. Wisty?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
That's all for the record in that file. All right.
So the bench is coming back. No, they were like, hey, we want to do that. Like somebody ordered